Hi, hi, hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Delilah. That light is a little bright, so let's move over this way. Yeah, as you guys know, I am in the middle of a transition, and so space is premium where we're currently living. But come on in. So excited to be with you guys. You're live with Q&A with Delilah as we conclude the DK strategy series where we have been talking. Let me take these off because I haven't been wearing my glasses in most of the videos, but we have been talking about maintaining momentum during difficult times. And I'm really, really so humbled by the community that I found here, both on Facebook as well as LinkedIn, where I currently am live, that is engaged in this conversation about, sometimes just life is difficult. And we're not always sure on how to take the next step forward. And so the DK strategy series did that for us, gave us tangible steps from everything from the position on how we go through it, the emotions that come up when we have difficult times, the process and the people. And I'm going to touch on each one of those before we wrap it up with the prequel. And I just so love how that thought, that innovative idea, that creative concept was given to me to actually end the thing by beginning it. And so, so again, excited that you guys are here with me today. If you've missed out on the different topics, there were four key topics, as I just mentioned. Those are all available on YouTube, so don't feel bad. You can go back and check them out. And so we are going to get started by just doing a high level overview of what we've discussed over the past 4 weeks. Each video, when you go back to get snippets of it, I'm going to last you like 5 minutes. Real short, but real impactful and powerful tools and tips that you need whenever you find yourself in a difficult time. And I understand we're not always in the difficult time. So this may be something that you want to share with friends and family who may need this information. We all know COVID has definitely introduced difficult times for all of us, some more than others. So you may want this information for yourself. And so as we go back through the four pillars of the DK strategy. Before we do that, I guess I'll just pause really quickly and go back and say how we got here. It's through my difficult season, and the best teacher is someone who's actually gone through a similar situation. And for me, going through life in a time where um, my son is just, I don't want to call him missing, but he's not been available for like 6 months now. And it's not the easiest thing for a mother to do, to get up every day and not know the whereabouts of her firstborn child. And so through this, I have had to have some sort of strategy just to keep going every day. But not only just to keep going every day, it's not just been a season of surviving for me, it's actually been a season of thriving. And I know there are situations out there that are definitely more difficult than what I've just described, and there's some not as difficult. But what I have come to do is collapse time for you and those that you know, so you don't have to, struggle on, well, what should I do and how should I do it? Should you find yourself in a difficult situation, the DK strategy series, maintaining momentum during difficult times, is where you want to find yourself on how should you get through. And so the first step, the position. And so the position in which you go through a situation is really important. And there were three key areas we really talked about with positioning. Positioning, first of all, was making a decision. The power of decision, we talked about in that video. You can go back, it'll elaborate. But the power in you making a decision, how you will go through the difficult time, deciding to be okay. Sometimes that's one of the first things that we can do is just decide that, you know what, although the situations and circumstances and even some of the voices and friends around you may say one thing, you know, and you can make up in your mind that you will be okay. The third thing around positioning that was really important was stand in your position and see it. Although it may not be where you're at currently, if it's a financial situation of difficulty, a financial situation of difficulty, maybe see yourself what it looks like to have more money. If it is like similar to me, it's a difficulty in relationships. Maybe be able to catch a vision for the family being reunited and see it, right? And hold on to that. Don't just hold on to what's in front of you, the lack or the scarcity in that moment, right? That's causing the difficult situation. Hold on to the vision of what you want to see in the future. So that was position. The second video that we released regarding the DK strategy series was relative to pain and emotion. A lot of times, especially for strong leaders, we just keep plowing through and keep plowing through and keep plowing through as if we are robotic and emotions we don't have. But that's not the truth. And it's not healthy. And so the second video went into a little bit of detail on how to handle pain and emotion. The three things that you really wanted to take away from there is not to brush it off. Again, I just talked about how we want to sometimes sweep it under the rug. That is not healthy. We want to make sure, and I need to go to comments here to make sure that I'm able to track any comments and pause real quick in pain and emotion. Feel free to put comments here. This is definitely interactive. I come to answer any questions that you guys have around what the information has been shared over the past 4 weeks, as well as any questions that may come up due to the sequel. And so going back to pain and emotion, one, don't brush it off. Two, do an inventory of your feelings. And so especially if you're one of those people who emote but don't know you're emoting, just do an intentional inventory. What am I feeling? How is my head? Is my chest, is my heart beating rapidly? Did my appetite change? Like, do an inventory head to toe of how you're feeling and write those feelings down, and then you're able to give some language to what's actually going on with you versus sweeping it under the rug. Third point on pain that we talked about, pain/emotion. We talked about how by identifying the emotion that you're going through the difficult time, it does two things. It releases pressure, right? You're not containing it. It's not as pressurized, pressed down, pressurized. And it also gives you the permission the next time you have an emotion or feeling to actually feel the emotion or feeling. And so you want to make sure you're doing the work around pain and emotion. Third thing we talked about in the DK strategy series was process. Process is necessary. To get through any of this, it will take work. There is no shortcut. There is no fix it. The shortcut here is getting the information and knowledge you need in order to in order to have wisdom, make wise decisions around what's happening. But there is nothing that's going to cut out you doing the actual work. And so process, first point, do the work. Second point about the process we talked about is how small steps lead to big change. How doing small things can actually have great impact. Small things we talked about, setting one goal for every day, right? And so as you're creating momentum, this is about momentum, momentum, momentum. This is not necessarily about creating 0 to 60, but just perpetual momentum moving forward, even though the season may be difficult. And we talked about doing that by setting daily goals, as well as recognizing and journaling daily achievements. So go check that out. That was the third video we talked about. And lastly, before we go into our grand finale or prequel, we talked about people. And the 3 points that we talked about with people is how we were all built for community. And so that lie of you can do it all by yourself and it's cool over here, isolation, don't believe it. It is indeed a lie. You need people. Second point was the people you need. I talked about how it'd be great if you had a team of professionals around you, you knew who you needed and you brought them in, but at minimum 1 or 2 people that you can bounce these things off of as far as what you're going through, because we're here for one another. And so we should take advantage of that. Third thing about people that we talked about how what you're going through is going to help someone else. So you helping people is what we talked about with the third point of people. And so that's a really high synopsis that was in less than 8 minutes of all 4 videos. Again, the detail of all 4, and you can get all of the detail there. Again, this is open Q&A. Feel free to join in, ask questions. So happy to engage. I know it was some really rich content that's been shared over the last 4 weeks. So feel free, if after you viewed something, you wanted to talk about it, that is why we're here today. In addition to being here today to answer your questions, we're also here to conclude by beginning the prequel. I just loved the idea that the prequel was something that comes from the actual going through the difficult time. And so when I say prequel, when we build momentum to go through difficult times, one of the things we want to ask ourselves is, how did we get in the difficult time? Right? How did we get in the time of difficulty? Let's say that the time of difficulty. And there are three things that I really want you to consider. And because a lot of things can contribute, but here are the three things that came top of mind. When we go for desperation versus deliberation. So sometimes we can find ourselves contributing to getting into a difficult time by acting desperate versus deliberating. Desperate can be, oh, you believe this is the last opportunity, so emotion, and you go for it, versus deliberating all the facts, all the truths about whatever the situation is, taking your time and actually coming to a decision. And so desperation versus deliberation can lead you into a difficult situation. Second thing that can do it, thinking short term versus long term. It's always critical to have to know what is in this area, if it's your relationship, if your finances, if your career, your business, whatever it may be, you know what you want longer term. So does this short term decision support that long term goal? And so you want to give great consideration. You want to give great consideration to that. And if you can find yourself in the difficult situation. That way you'll need to continue maintaining momentum during a difficult time, because you're making short-term decisions. Lastly, about the prequel, what could you have possibly done that may have contributed to your difficult time? And we've all done it. It's not just you. I've done it as well. Pressure versus purpose. You may be making decisions out of pressure, right, versus your purpose. You may going after opportunities that do the same thing, or even right stepping into relationships that don't necessarily support your purpose. And there's a pressure from your maybe expectations from yourself, expectations from your family, expectations from the world that you think you're supposed to be doing a certain thing, and because you're not, you're making these decisions that lead into, now you're in a difficult time because you're upset every day, you're not happy and fulfilled every day, and so now you're needing to maintain momentum. So that is it, guys. We have come to the climactic conclusion of the DK strategy series, where we have taken this time to overview all 4 pillars of the DK strategy and add bonus information on how you may have contributed to get into the difficult situation for the purpose of not getting there again. Right. And so that is what I had to share with you guys today. For me, it's a really great summary. I don't see many questions. Go on just a little bit more, so I want to share some campus comments to something. Okay. So let me go here and make sure that I'm not having information. There we go. In another page. All right. And so I'm going to take a little bit more time to actually go through some updates or some announcements. It's better to say announcements, not necessarily updates, that you guys should know about. In November, well, before November, actually, this coming week, I will be making an announcement. I will be making an announcement about an exciting promotion campaign that I will be running for the month of November. If you guys know me, you know I am all about the purpose of a person, the possibility. I pursue possible. If you had a hashtag for me, it would be hashtag pursue possible, because I really believe that you are destined to elevate the world around you by pursuing your possible, what's possible. And so the competition campaign, however we're going to describe, I didn't want to say campaign, maybe a challenge. The November challenge, I'll reveal later on this week, more than likely Thursday. So make sure you're listening for the information on how you can participate. You want to make sure that you're in on a fun time for the month of November. I'm excited about that. Post November or toward the latter end of November, I'll be revealing some other information, again, with the goal of educating, empowering, and uplifting the people who I have the fond, humble opportunity to engage with on social media and throughout life. There'll be more information that's coming and more opportunity on how we can partner together. But first up, November. Stay tuned. Thursday is the big announcement. You don't want to miss it. You want to be involved. When you get it, share with all your friends. The purpose for having the activity and the experience that we're going to have for the month of November is all about you. So stay tuned and do not miss out. That is what I have. So again, thank you guys so much for sharing this time with me. The DK Strategy Series. I can't tell you how humble and blessed I am to be able to share this information from a place that was birthed by something that is meant, that is definitely near to dear to my heart. My son DK, of which we were just talking about, that going through a pretty challenging time right now. So it is from my heart to yours that I share this information, share this strategy with you while going through a difficult time. Thanks so much for hanging out. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to partnering with you guys soon. Catch me on Thursday. Don't miss out. Talk to you then.